What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Monk, aka the MonkMMATician, my intrepid co-host Lou Betya below me, and we're here to break down every bet.
You
and
below me.
I knew it. As soon as I said it, I was like, shit. for UFC Sao Paulo. Lou, how do you feel about this card? What's going on in general?
I feel good. We'll talk about it. That's the point of the show, I suppose, is talking about the fights and like trying out
Occasionally.
stand up bits and shit. But I'll say this before we start. I only have 5 bets in, and I don't know how much more I'm going to get to. Just like we talked about before the show, there's a lot of spots in this card where I think a lot of dogs have round 1 equity, and that makes this kind of a good live betting card. So I'm going to just mention, even though I don't have official bets in because the fights haven't started, I want to talk about some of the live bet spots that I see and like kind of what I want to look for in these spots.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. No, I am ready for the show, ready for the card. Had a terrible headache a couple hours ago. Just awful. Did some, some self-medicating, not with Advil. Of course, I use my go-to, a little crack cocaine to get the job taken care of. And here we are, ready for the show, ready for some happy hour. And let's get
you know what somebody asked me at a bar once?
What's that?
My buddy Greg, his friend Kip, said, dude, the worst thing about the 80s was crack. Also, do you have any crack?
Yeah, what's that sunny bit? Yeah, I'm gonna go get some more crack.
Yeah.
Children, you're
crack. Burrito. What do you really want? The burritos are great. What do you really want? Crack?
And it always comes up like once every 4 seasons they'll bring it up again.
It's how the show has to end. They have to die from a crack over.
Yeah. Shout out Wolf Cola. Shout out Jenna in the chat. What is going on? The boys at Chronic Combat Conversations, check out their UFC Sao Paulo stuff that they've got going on. And yeah, speaking of, let's get right into the fight. We'll start with Mark Diakese, the Bone Crusher. I ain't never scared. Taking on Kawi Fernandez. I always want to say Fernandez. Thanks, Wheezy, for that, for always making me go with the Hernandez at the end there. Plus 105 fight does not go. Minus 135 fight goes all 3. Minus 190 for the favorite DKC. Plus 156 the comeback on Fernandez. 8,600 for DKC and 76 for Fernandez. I will go ahead. Yeah, we got an odd number of fights. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I've heard a lot of people, maybe not a lot, maybe just a couple people in our little Twitter sphere that we're in, on the Fernandez side, because DKZ hasn't looked great recently, because supposedly his knees are shot and he wears knee braces. That means he cannot be trusted. Now, while I there is some stock in that, I am on the DKC side this week for DraftKings. Look, man, if in wins, he's landing tons and tons of takedowns, tons of control time, and just racking up the DraftKings points. So against Slava Claus 118, against Hadzovic 112. Yeah, Michael Johnson fight didn't go very well, but he didn't land any takedowns, and only 2 in the Alvarez fight. And Alvarez, as we all know, works best on the ground and off of his back, in submission like positions. So this one could be a little bit different with Fernandez here, and it is a short. Is it short notice? I don't remember. Either way, he's got no DWCS fights, no UFC fights, and he's fighting a guy in DKC that has, I think, somewhere in the realm of 14 UFC fights. So give me DKC in a win here. I think he can score very well, and 8,600, that could hold a lot of value. Lou, is this one of your bets that you've got going on? What do you think about the newcomer here?
So I mean, if
Jenna, sorry, but Jenna can speak whenever she wants.
Of course. If you got Diakese early, like, that's great. At 190, I have some reservations. So here's a fun stat for you. You have to go back to Diakese's fight against Dan Hooker for the last time he won a fight where he was outstruck. Because even these fights when he's getting takedowns, he's throwing no volume. So I don't know what to make of Fernandez. The one thing I'm going to say is there's been some interesting, serious money on him from people I respect. I don't know if it's pro him or they're fading Diakese. But here's what I'll say is why I don't want to bet Diakese at this point, at least pre-fight. The fights where I don't like him is when people get in his face and pressure him. Like even Michael Johnson was pressure. He doesn't like it. He doesn't fight well off his back foot. I mean, the Alves fight was sudden, but Alves was like, they were both being aggressive, and like he came out on the wrong end of that. Like, he can beat the Lando Venados. Like, okay, that's
Mhm.
going to throw low volume. Borshev, who does throw a lot of volume, just has such a glaring hole in his game that he exploited it, and he still did nothing on the ground. So what I'm worried about here is if Fernandez comes out hot. I mean, he's got some grappling. Like, I don't know why he can't pressure Diakese from the opening jump. It's starting the night, get the crowd pumped. He could pressure Diakese. Diakese could shoot a bad takedown or just not even go for takedowns and like kind of just back away and try to pick a spot while Fernandez gets in his face. So I think Fernandez is super live in the first round. If you want to take something juicy, you could play Diakese decision only because I feel like the most
Yep.
likely for this fight is Diakese after the first round, kind of weathers the storm, takes advantage of Fernandez's suspect cardio, lays on him for 2 rounds. Like I see that as the most likely outcome here. If Fernandez sub is plus 650, I mean, that's how Diakese loses, man. He makes a mistake and he gets subbed. So I think that's kind of a decent price. He hasn't had a sub in a while, but still does have 2 on his record. So I'm not as confident in Diakese as most. I would look to live bet him after 1 if Fernandez looks like he's gassing at the end of the first round. So
Fuck, marry, kill. The red stripe on Diakese's head, the red stripe on Figgy's head, or red stripe beer.
wait, what were the options again? Yeah, I had to wear it easy.
Had to wear it. Had to wear it. It's red stripe. The red stripe on Diakese's head, the red stripe on Davison Figueiredo's head, or red stripe beer.
Okay, marry the beer. I'd kill Figueiredo's. I can't stand the guy. So I guess I fucked Diakese. I don't know, man.
Plus, his is Diakese's is at least centered. I'm a very symmetrical guy, so I respect
Well, yeah,
that.
you know what?
Figgy's is off to one side.
Well, look, we talk about like you make bad choices with your hair. Dude, I'll make some Jeff George comments. Don't worry. By the way, that's my gimmick, not yours. We talk about like bad choices with hair usually means like bad fight IQ. Like you make bad choices in life.
That's true.
But if it's symmetrical and it's perfect, like, and it's by design and it's been consistent, I appreciate that. Whether it's not for me, Lou's not rocking a red mohawk. but anyway, I'm gonna wait for a live entry here. Especially I missed it. But again, if you got him early in the week, like that's probably where you wanted him. I think the line's probably fair with the cardio and the takedown equity and the strength schedule. I do, but I'm nervous about this. I don't have enough confidence to lay any money on him right yet. But live bet, you give me plus odds on him after 1 and he hasn't really taken any damage, I'm in.
The one thing, well, I liked all of what you said, but the one thing I really liked is you mentioned the mistakes that Diakese makes, because in every fight, Diakese makes a freaking mistake for sure. So
like what percentage of Fernandez would you use in like a 150 max?
Oh, well, I mean, originally it was probably 10 to 15, but it might go a little bit higher than that now after that. I mean, you're absolutely right with the mistakes that Diakese makes. I think 15 to 20% is where we're sitting at.
I think there's a case to be made where you could do a 6 underdog lineup where all 6 guys have like crazy first round potential.
Oh man, how wild would that the total salary is like 45K.
I mean, it's gonna be a cool card because it's juicy, but like it's not juiced where like, dude, all these underdogs like have serious, like they all have finish potential.
Yep.
Well, maybe not here.
Well, I'm either gonna win a ton of my picks, or I'm gonna get absolutely washed because all the favorites got washed in the first round. Here's another one. Next fight, Eduardo Mora taking on Montserrat Ruiz, all 5 foot of her. -210 fight doesn't go for this women's strawweight fight. +160 fight does go. -650 for the newcomer Eduardo Moira, a newcomer strawweight, -650. Are we ever going to learn our lesson? +445 for Ruiz, 9,400 for Mora, and 68 for Conejo. Why don't you start us off here?
Yeah, I don't bet fights like this with this kind
of, this is crazy.
With this kind of juice with a newcomer. I know people are talking about like Ruiz and like her head and arm throws and like this and that. Oh, I don't know how she's going to be able to reach Mora to do it.
I was going to say, can she even reach her head?
I mean, I'm never trying to bet a debutante who is so young in her career, like fighting on a massive stage. I mean,
yeah,
like against a veteran who like at least has shown some decent durability. Like, I just don't want any part of this. I know Wheezy's on the over. I kind of like, I would lean that way, but like honestly, I don't know what Mora is like if she gets extended.
Right.
And does this become just like really low volume and sloppy? Like I'd favor Mara decision over anything else, but I don't want any part of this fight.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a Mara finish here. I love her for cash, 9,400. I think she's a good pivot off of the ever popular Almeidas, the Bone Fiends that are up there that everybody's going to be on. So Mara gets you a little bit different, and I think she does have the capability of finishing Ruiz early because Ruiz is extremely small and she's not very good. But we don't know how good Mara is either. This is a debutante fight, so yeah, the pick is Mara. I am going to be rostering her in GPPs and cash, but Ruiz, no cash for Ruiz, just GPPs if you've got to get her in there. Next fight. The pick is also Mora. Next fight, Denise Gomes taking on Angela Overkill Hill. I don't know what I'm interested to hear what you're going to say here. Obviously, we've got Angela Hill, a 23, I think, UFC fight veteran at the strawweight level. That is insane just to even say out loud. Gomes, only 3 UFC fights, has looked amazing in her last 2, scoring upwards of 132 points in each of them. Angela Hill, we all know about her, has never been KO TKO'd and only been finished in 2 of her 13 UFC losses. That said, she did just get dropped by Mackenzie Dern, and Lupi Godinez landed, I think, 92 strikes on her. And in one of those fights where she decided not to wrestle Lupi Godinez. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Hill also closer to 39 than she was 38. She probably just dances around the outside and takes this one to a decision. But I'm willing to put some chips into the pot on Denise Gomes, getting a knockdown. And maybe if she can knock her down, she can jump on her and get a shit ref in there and just end the fight quick before Angela, can recover. But I don't know, man. I'm willing to bet on it for DraftKings, but yeah, it's probably a decision fight and it could get greasy here. So I'm trepidatious about this one. What do you think?
Yeah. So my first bet I made this week, early in the week, was Angie Hill plus 110 because I saw where the line was going. And then the more I looked into it, the more I thought about it, the more I hated it. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, the age difference is massive, and it can't be understated. 15 years is a big age difference for a fight. But one of the trends that we've seen this year, not just this year, but I feel like it's more this year because we've had more and more debuting like new fighters in the UFC, is Denise Gomes at 23. And I've done well betting her. Like I've done very well betting her fights this year. At 23, she's going to improve exponentially every time out. She's going to have new wrinkles to her game every time out, and she's going to be way, way better. She's starting to get confidence. Her hands are, she's got confidence in her hands. The grappling is going to, I don't know how much grappling success she's really going to have in this fight, but she's a moment winner. She's going to have hands. I think her cardio is pretty good too. And we don't know what new wrinkles she's going to have against Angie Hill. We know what we're getting with Angie Hill at this point. And we know 2 things with Angie Hill. She's pretty durable, and judges hate her.
Yeah.
Like, they hate her. So the props aren't out yet. Like, DraftKings has been really slow with this, like some of these undercard props. But whatever Denise Gomes split decision is, I'm all for it. Because I do think that Hill might be able to win the 3rd round at a decent clip. She's done it against other people that have gassed. I mean, this is the biggest spotlight that Gomes has been on. I think that Hill can out-volume her, but I think all the big shots would come from Gomes. So it might only take 1 or 2 around, get the crowd pumped to swing around. So I'm going to hedge off my bet, but I think the split decision prop for Gomes is probably the way that I'd play this as a prop. And I'd lean her. I'm just getting off my bet completely here. I don't, maybe the blonde hair and a neck tattoo is
I was going to say.
me. But yeah, I'm gonna just Gomes is the pick for reasons that I don't love, and I'm gonna get off my Hill bet that I have already in.
There you go. Love it. Next fight. Vitor Petrino taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Minus 170 fight finishes early, plus 130. It does not. Minus 250 for Petrino, 9,000 for him, plus 200 for Bukauskas, 7,200 for him. Why don't you get us started? Do you like the ripped up Vitor Petrino or the half pint Sergey Spivak Modestas Bukauskas?
All right, this is a fight I actually have I feel really good about this one. So I've seen some people that I respect that are on the Modestas side, and I don't see it. I don't get it. I know this number is pretty big for Petrino at minus 250. Here's one thing I really liked about Petrino's last fight. So his 2 fights in the UFC, I didn't want to talk about Bellato because Bellato stinks. And we're going to see Bellato against Ihor Pretoria in Austin, which is
in Austin. Yeah.
Which is like a hilarious, why is this a fight that's happening?
I might be in the same building as Ihor Pretoria. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh.
The Pleasure Man fight. Petrino landed just some absolute bombs that should have knocked him out, and he showed a pretty decent chin. We're getting there.
I meant to click this one. Professor Chaos in the building. Professor Chaos.
And the grappling was decent against Turkali, who like professes to have grappling. I mean, Petrino, it was a little sloppy, but you could tell Petrino was just working on it. Now, I don't think Pacquiao was a world beater either. But what I liked in that fight is he'd get the takedown. He never gave up position. And he's listening to his coaches. He's letting his coaches advise him. He wasn't rushing into moves. That's why it took him to the 3rd round to get a submission. But he wasn't rushing into moves. He was maintaining control. He was throwing punches as he was listening. Like, he was always working. But I love seeing somebody adding that wrinkle to their game that is coachable. That's very important to me.
Oh, yeah.
With Bukauskas, I mean, he's plus 200, but like, what's his win equity? He's low volume. People are like, oh, he's got great volume. I mean, he doesn't.
No way he does.
I don't think he beat Pauga. And Pedro just completely fell apart after 4 minutes. I mean, even the end of the 1st round, he fell apart. Pedro was done, like the 4-minute mark of that fight.
He had a tummy ache, all right?
And Bukauskas just like, I mean, he out-volumed the guy that wasn't throwing any punches. Like, congratulations. So Bukauskas, like, his win equity is greasy decision. I think Petrino has on the feet and on the ground waves to look minus 600, minus 700 here. I do think the submission's live. If he does struggle to get takedowns, because Bukauskas, like, he's not really tested by a lot of guys grappling. I'm like, Khalil Roundtree is not interested in taking you to the ground. He's interested in committing homicides. I do think that Petrino, like, the only thing I worry about the sub is ground and pound is very live. But I think Petrino will throw some punches, wing some bombs, and try to get this fight to the ground and just top time him the whole fight. I think a late sub is very in play. I gave that out on the prop show. I said the round 2, round 3 was good. I think it was, I don't know my piece of paper. I think it was like 1,100 and 1,600 for round 2 and 3. I like those prices a lot.
It's not bad.
And yeah, so Petrino to me is a good parlay piece. And, you know, I'm not big on parlay and juice, but I feel like this is one I feel pretty passionately about on the Petrino side. I think Petrino, let me just end on this note. I don't think Petrino is like a future champ, but he's making improvements. And I just talked about, we don't know the improvements Gomes make. We just saw the improvements that Petrino's trying to make in his game. He's adding like literally an entire dimension to his game that would make him, that he's going to trouble a lot of people at this weight class. So I think their management knows this is kind of like a perfect tailor-made matchup for him as he's growing in the UFC. And yeah, Bukauskas is basically like the in the ring already to my left guy from 80s wrestling.
Yeah, he's already in there when they come back from commercial. For
yeah,
sure.
Already in the ring to my left from the Netherlands Antilles. SD Special Delivery Jones.
Special Delivery Jones.
And
That's
or
a great
Barry.
name.
Oh, I always like the scrubs that could beat the other scrubs. Like,
oh yeah,
if you go to like one live,
humongous.
Like the Brooklyn Brawler would beat like local jabroni, and it'd be like, oh my god, he won. Yes.
It's like when the Washington Generals didn't have to play Harlem Globetrotters, they were actually a good team or something like that. Yeah, I think there's only one way to play this, to be completely honest, and it is not Bukauskas. He is pretty much the worst scorer on the entire card, and it's not even close. I mean, he put up 56 against Paunga, 51 against Tyson Pedro, who apparently was shitting in his pants pretty much at the time. So yeah, not looking forward to Bukauskas at all. Give me Vitor Petrino. I'm very glad to hear what you had to say about Petrino. I like him here. I think he's going to go overlooked at 9K to the Bonfils, to the Almeidas, to the Renats even. I think he's going to go overlooked. So I'm going to get him in my lineups, GPPs, cash, doesn't matter. Get Petrino in your lineups. 7 takedowns against the Pleasure Man. That was very pleasurable. 116 points for Petrino in that one. And people are saying, oh, it took him 3 rounds to finish Prachnio. Well, we don't give a shit about that in DFS because he still put up 104 points in that fight. Didn't make the optimal lineup because he was 9K and a bunch of dogs, I think, won that week. But 104 points, I'll take that any day, especially in cash. So give me Petrino. And yeah, Modestas Bukauskas, yeah, he sucks. He sucks for DraftKings. We're not going to do that. Next fight. We've got Daniel Marcos, not quite a red stripe on his head. That's far too wide to be a red stripe. It's like the difference in a racing stripe between a car. At some point, your car is just the color of the stripe. It's no longer a stripe. Against Victor Hugo, look at that bald son of a bitch. Minus 170, fight doesn't go to the distance. Plus 1-3 goes all 3 rounds. Minus 250 for Marcos, plus 200 for Hugo. I will start us off here. I guess I like, whoops, I'm on the wrong fight. I guess I like Marcos here, but I'm pretty much going to stay away from this one. Apparently my whole Excel just decided to crash. Super. That's the second time that's happened today, Lou. Can you believe it? Good thing I don't need it for this fight. I'm just interested to see what I'm going to learn from each fighter in this fight. Because I don't know much about Hugo, so I'm interested to see how he's going to look. And Marcos, I just haven't quite seen enough there. So I'll just go to what you have to say. Very interested in that because I don't know, minus 250 on a pretty unproven guy here against anybody kind of makes my teeth hurt. So what do you got for this one?
So I mean, I already have a policy on. I'm not a fan of betting on people with 2 first names.
That's true.
Just not.
And we have Marcos is close to Marcus. We almost have 2 guys with 2 first names.
So this is another one that falls into my live bet spots.
Yep.
I mean, Hugo, I think we know the game plan. He's going to immediately go for takedowns. We've seen Marcos. He stuffed takedowns against Simon Oliveira. Like Brandon Lewis at least had a little bit of success against him. So I don't know, like, if Hugo's going to be dogged. He has enough power in his hands to at least, like, Oliveira's throwing all this spinny shit. So, yep. I mean, Marcos was reading it perfectly. Hugo's a little more straightforward and has a little more power. So, and I believe they train together, Hugo and Oliveira. I believe they do.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So what I worry about is what's Hugo's win equity? It seems to be early submission. His round 1 sub's 10-1, which I think is pretty good. Even just his sub in general is plus 500. But this is a spot where Hugo is probably going to win the first round more often than not. Even if he's not getting takedowns, he's going to have cage control time. He's probably going to throw, even against Oliveira, Marcos kind of took his time a little bit, got his reads. I mean, he was landing shots, but it was a closer round because he was just trying to get his reads. The second round wasn't close, obviously. Like Marcos was just beating him. Every time he came in, he was getting beamed. But once he got the timing of the spinning stuff, he was just, hitting him at will. So I think Hugo can win the first round at a high clip. If you want to take the poke on the round 1 sub, like I'm gonna probably play like a really small, like 0.1 unit on it. But if Hugo wins the first round, now you get Marcos at even money or close to it, and then you attack because I like Marcos' cardio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know there's people on the under here, but like I think Marcos is kind of durable. Like I think getting submitted is a little different. Like if Hugo was just that dog and gets him in a bad spot, it happens. But I don't think Hugo knocks him out. And we'll see what Hugo's cardio looks like as this fight goes on. I mean, if he's dead man walking, but I feel like he has more than 5 minutes of cardio. Just not like he doesn't have 15 minutes to fight in this style. So I favor Marcos. I think Marcos by decision is probably the way this goes. And I would just live bet him and not lay the 250.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Next fight. We will keep it moving. Reminder, hit the like if you're in the chat. Shout out to all 20 of you. Hopefully, that means we should have 20 likes on the video right this very second.
Go hit create other Gmail. Like, you guys don't have extra Gmail accounts. Like, come on.
Yeah, where are you, Wayne Grow? Yeah, bring yourself over here and like the video.
Where's Johnny Parsons? He never comes in when I'm doing a shot.
What the fuck, man?
He only goes in
so weird.
Chat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. So yeah, sub to the channel. MMA Engine, Wheezy, Brady, and Lou doing shows almost every day out of the week, preparing you yourself for every single card. Can you tell the self-medicating I did before the show is finally
I got a new show
starting
tomorrow too,
to
but I'll
kick
announce
in?
I got a new show on the channel tomorrow,
Yes.
but no, a new show, but I'll announce that at the end of the show. Stay
Oh,
tuned.
nice, nice.
Stay tuned. What's
What's
up,
up,
Mushroom?
Mushroom? What is cracking? Next fight.
Go watch Mushroom Show with Propaholic too tonight. I didn't get to see it because I was busy. I was being made to watch Catfish and shit on the DVR.
Catfish, the MTV show.
Yeah,
Hey, man, that'll suck you in.
it's terrible.
That'll suck you in.
Guess what? It was a shock ending. The person wasn't who we thought they were.
Oh no! Come on,
Go figure.
these fucking people.
I know.
Well, Renat looks like he could catfish. It looks like he could just pull that beard right off. We've got Renat Fakhretdinov taking on Aleziu Zaleski. Such a difficult name to say for me. I don't know why. Minus 150. Fight does not go to decision. Plus 108 does go. Minus 375 for Renat. Plus 290 for Zaleski. 91 and 71 are the salaries. Why don't you start us off here? Because I know exactly what I'm doing.
So I will be on Mushroom Show for the Parsons fight, by the way, in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice, nice.
I'm also
Johnny by God Parsons.
I also said I wanted to bring up my track bets as we went along, so I forgot. I did bet Petrino. I bet him. I bet his point spread. I bet him minus 3.5 at minus 145 odds to cut down that number. I liked it. I think that it gives you the finish, but also one judge has given him a 30-27 in this fight. So
sure.
Okay, and now we're on to my next track bet. Now I have the over here. I have over 2.5. Zaleski's been pretty ZDS has been pretty durable in his career, and I think Renat wins this fight at. I mean, when I first looked at it, I'm like, this is a wide line, but really, it's not. I think Zaleski, he's in the downward spiral of his career. I think Renat's cardio is great. I think Renat he can look like minus 1,000 here. He can make him look really stupid on the ground. But the battle fight, yeah, he threw ground strikes, but a lot of that third round was Renat kind of just knew he had the fight won, position over, anything else, just ensuring he's winning minutes and not doing anything stupid. I think against Battle, he was minus 150, minus 190. I don't even know what he was.
Yeah, minus 145.
Okay, so this is it's a pretty big line difference. And I don't the Kevin Lee fight I don't rate because Kevin Lee was done.
Yeah, that was
a smash spot. But I think Renat's got enough power on the feet. I don't think his striking is as great as some people, but it's definitely got power to at least make this kind of a cat and mouse game for some of the fight. I do think the takedowns come probably by midway of the first round. But he's going to have to be careful because Zaleski off his back isn't the worst. He'll be able to throw up some subs. He's not going to get him, but at least he can threaten him. And I think that Fakhretdinov just takes his time, couple of strikes, does enough work on the ground so that he doesn't get stood up. And I think he wins a pretty clear decision here. His decision props plus 200. I don't really love that, but I do like the over. I mean, even if Zaleski dos Santos kind of takes over and can stuff some takedowns, I don't see him getting a knockout here. So I like the over 2.5. I like it quite a bit. I'd lean Renat decision in terms of just what I think the expected outcome of the fight is.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I'm huge, as you would expect, on Renat for DraftKings. I mean, 108 against Michailidis, 129 against Battle, and 130 against Lee. So no matter what, if he's getting it done in 30 seconds or 15 minutes, he is capable of scoring a ton of points. Zaleski has shown holes in his game with the takedown defense. It currently sits around 65-ish%. I don't have it right in front of me. His last 5 is actually much better, 82%. But in his UFC career, it's about 65, 66. Li Jingliang took him down twice. Nurmagomedov took him down once. And the 155er, Benoit Saint-Denis, despite losing that fight horrifically due to terrible refereeing, took him down twice as well at 170. So I think Renat's going to be able to easily either take him down once and get a sub, or rinse and repeat takedowns, dominate control time. The other thing I really like about Renat Fakhretdinov and what we like as DraftKings guys and girls in general is not only takedowns, but ground and pound, just multiple strikes in quick succession on the ground, 0.4 points for each one. Renat Fakhretdinov averaging 1.62 ground strikes per minute. That might not, per minute. in the UFC. That might not sound like a lot, but that number is good enough for second overall in the welterweight division. So that is a huge number, and hopefully we'll see that executed on Zaleski Dos Santos this week. So I love Renat for cash, GPPs. I'll have him in tons and tons and tons of lineups this week. He is the Monk most owned, no nonsense pick of the week this week. And I'll have a little Zaleski in GPPs, but nothing too crazy there. Next fight, short notice replacement for Elvis Brenner as he takes on Kenan Krzyzewski, I think is how you would pronounce that. I have no idea. I'm
very Brazilian name.
Yeah, super Brazilian. I'm an extremely white person with heritage from around that part of the world, but no Polish. So I have no idea how to actually pronounce that. I think I did pretty good though. Minus 198 for Brenner, plus 161 for Krzyzewski. No distance props yet. I even checked with our man Lou before the show, and nothing is going to be out until tomorrow. 8,200 for Brenner and 77 for Kanan here. So we have some lopsided salaries. You know that I love to target those. And I love Elvis Brenner this week at 8,200. He was the cheapest favorite on the entire card. And now he's fighting a guy who's never fought in the UFC. Never. He did have a DWCS fight, actually. Under 3 minutes is all that took for him to finish. But I love Brenner. He's proven tough. And he's fought two, he hasn't fought cans in the UFC. He's fought Tukagov, who he beat split decision, and he fought Kutateladze, who he completely broke, in that second round. Ended up finishing him in the third in very impressive fashion, in my opinion. I mean, if you remember, he had that cut on his head, blood, his dyed blonde hair from shoot to box was completely pink after that. It was an insane vision to see during that fight. So give me Brenner, man. I think hopefully he gets it done early. I love him in cash, love him in GPPs, love his cheap price point. And Krzyzewski is 7,700. I can't believe it. I think that's way too much, and I probably won't have too much of him in cash. I will have some in GPPs though, because I don't know what he's all about. What have you got for this one, Lou? Because I love Elvis Brenner in this fight.
I'm gonna shock you. I'm gonna be on the other side of this fight.
Oh shit!
I know.
Well, good. I want to hear why I should play him.
So now I made money on Brenner against Tukagov. I live bet him. I don't think he won that fight.
Even if he didn't, very close.
But he covered his number as a big dog.
Yep.
Okay. Against Guram, he took over late. Obviously covered his number because he won. But he's getting beat up a lot in that fight. And I think Guram maybe is a little overrated. That's another one of those, if you parlayed Guram, like you got what.
Oh, God. Yeah, you got what you deserve.
After he hadn't fought in so long, he got what he deserved. Okay.
Yep.
I don't like backing Brenner as a favorite, especially a 2-1 favorite. Now, I know there's a narrative here, and that's very short notice. But Krzyzewski obviously didn't have to travel far, and he's a guy who stays ready. I liked him going into his Contender Series fight, and Dylan Mantello is pretty good. I think I don't know if the experts in the community are going to disagree, but I think Mantello is a pretty decent prospect. The only other guy that really beat Mantello was Archie Colgan, who I like a lot in Bellator. He's done some Bellator stuff. He's been good. So I think that was a pretty good win, and it was pretty dominant. So I liked what I saw from him. His cardio is good. He's fought into the 4th and 5th rounds before, on the regionals. So I don't know that the short notice is that bad. I think his grappling's really good. His striking's decent, but his grappling's really good, and I think that's what he's got to go to early. I think he's super live here to sub Brenner. I really do.
Shit.
And I think he's super live to just control the first rounds. Now, this is another one where, could Brenner take over in the third? Could, the short notice nature of the fight, that's where you got to, really worry.
Right.
But I'm going to be one of the few. I'm going to be on the Krzyzewski side, and there's no reason for me to bet it yet because money is just continuing to pour in on Brenner. And I don't know. I might get Krzyzewski at plus 200, and at Brenner at minus 250, even with the short notice, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a bit wild.
I think he's going to be a guy that's great to play as a dog and horrible to play as a favorite. It's a gut feeling, but also it's kind of his style too, because I feel like he's a slow starter.
Yeah, he almost needs to get his ass kicked before he turns it on.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure.
So I'm just, I don't know, man. don't change your lineups because of my take on this. But like, I just because everybody, I'm like against everybody on this one. I just think this price, consider it if this was even money, I'm taking Brenner.
Right.
But as this number gets wider and wider, I think I gotta look at him. Like, so no play at the moment. DraftKings doesn't even have a line for this fight.
Yeah, I was wondering. For
Let me
some
see
reason,
if-
I got all these lines from Bovada and Don't Judge Me. I couldn't get on to Bet Online or something. It was just a blank screen. Like, I don't know if they are like, no, we're not servicing your state anymore, or I have no idea.
So my book currently has 195 for Brenner, 155 for Khrushchevsky, but it's just something I'm going to monitor. Yeah, I don't know about props here for me. I'm probably just going to stick to the Cannon side if it gets bigger. Plus 200 or more, I would take it.
It's probably going to get bigger. Yeah,
it
for
might.
sure.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's buyback. Tomorrow we'll see what they look like on the scales too, because I think that's going to be important for this.
That's true.
Like, so we'll see. Now we're getting into like by the way, the greatest mustache in professional
Great.
sport.
It's got to be. And also that fight is at 165, so won't have to cut as much weight. Yeah, Ishmael Bonfim, half of the Bonfim brothers, taking on, he's minus 525 against the man that Lou was just talking about, best mustache in the game. It's up there. I mean, Gabriel Miranda's in that category, RDA's in that category. There's a couple in there, but Vince Pichel might just be chairman of the board. Plus 375, minus 150 fight doesn't go, plus 113 does go. Second most expensive fighter, 9,500. Ishmael Bonfim, 67. I know that says 77. I must have fat fingered it. 6,700 for Vince Pichel. Lou, start us off here. Why is Ishmael Bonfim $200 more expensive than his brother, who's the better Bonfim brother?
I guess they're just giving respect to Dalby.
They must be. It's because if Vince Pichel took a naked picture from a balcony and put it on Instagram, maybe he would be a little more respected.
Also the Gabriel Bonfim line definitely got more steamed. But
yep, that's true.
So I have a tracked bet on this fight too at even money. I have fight starts round 3. Yeah, I'm overs gang.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Fight starts round 3 at even money, plus 100. It's already moved. I put it in today and it moved. I think it's like minus 130 now. It's
holy
like
shit.
Yeah. So look, this whole like Pichel's 41 thing, number one, hey, fuck you, buddy. 41's a good age, Mom.
Also, he's not 41 yet. It is a good age.
I mean, it's better. It's a better age than 45. Say that. It's a better age than 46.
Yeah, but he's 40 years old, almost 41 in hell years.
I'm gonna have
I don't know what that translates to.
I'm gonna have to get used to saying 46 and shit, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we'll have to make you forget about it in Austin when you come down.
Right, we have off that week. So that's fine. I won't be harassed by people online for my birthday. Look, man, Pichel's pretty tough. I don't know that he has like, I mean, look, his cardio is like weirdly kind of decent. Just took away his leg. Thanks, Juicy.
Put it back, Juicy.
I just feel like Bonfim wins the decision here. I don't think it's even a matter of staying safe. I think Pichel was like such an awkward fighter. Like there were some bad looks against Madsen, like Madsen landing some bombs. And I do think that Bonfim certainly has potential to finish Pichel here. But I'm just playing on that vet savvy, man. Like, and also like, and we're going to talk about Gabe too. The Bonfim brothers fighting at home, massive crowd, a lot of nervous energy. I think if this fight gets out of the first round, it's going the distance. I really do.
Love it.
I really do. And I don't want any part of like, I don't want any part of betting Pichel here. Like he's never winning. Dude, I mean, I get it. He's a massive favorite. I get it. I'm just going on Pichel's like legendary toughness and like ways to make these fights super weird and awkward and ugly. And this is like the best guy. I mean, in terms of like experience, well-roundedness, like this best guy Bonfim's ever fought. So
yeah,
I think the funny thing is I don't think the line's like crazy wide. I think it's kind of where it is. I just think Pichel, he's going to lose. He's going to get controlled, but he's not going to, I don't know. I just think he's going to hang on. If Bonfim gets a third round sub, I'm good with that, Londo. I'm great with that and hey, then you hit a third round sub prop. I hit my over.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. You said best guys ever.
In DK though.
What's that?
You can't play him in DK. By the way, that salary's wrong. Has to be wrong.
No, yeah, it is. It's
67.
67. Yeah.
Can you even play him at 67?
If you need a punt, I think he's okay, only because, and I'm hoping what you said comes true. If it goes to decision, he could put up 30 points, question mark. And if you play somebody at 67, you can get to Jailton Almeida, you can get to a couple of the 9K guys. So I understand it as a punt play. Me personally, in my main cash lineup, I am not doing that. I'm punting with someone we'll talk about in a couple of fights. But it's tough, man. I love Vince Pichel, love his mustache.
And he's
This
from
is
hell, as
and he
Brady
is
said.
from hell. Yep, Vince Pichel from hell. And this is the lesser of the two Bonfim brothers in my and a lot of people's opinions. I don't know if Vince is going to be the best fighter Bonfim's ever fought, and maybe he is now, but he did just come off of Benoit Saint-Denis, who I personally think, and he's not there yet, but I personally think he's going to be a top 5 fighter in the lightweight division, possibly steamrolling his way through, but we will see. Either way, that was Bonfim's loss. So if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to a guy like that. Other than that, man, I don't know. I'd rather play Gabe Bonfim. I'd rather pay $100 more for Jailton Almeida than I would for Israel Bonfim against a tough, like you said, tough son of a bitch in Vince Pichel. So I don't know how much I'm going to get to Bonfim, even at the precious salary of $9,500. And like I said, I think Vince Pichel is an okay punt, but that's it, just a punt. And I'm not touching him, in cash at all for the most part. We will keep him. Look at that mustache. It's a mustache that's so good it looks fake. Do you understand? Like, it looks like it's being held on by those two little plastic clips in his nose.
It looks like what people wear when they're 18 years old trying to buy alcohol without an ID. By the way, I mean, like, and if you want to play Bonfim in the distance, like, I get it, but Bonfim decision is plus 190. That's not even worth it. Like, I'd much rather, like, honestly, it's not a big enough number for me to want to play it.
Right. No, I agree there.
Or I could be like some people be like, I mean, I capped it at like 198, so like not worth it. I feel like for a fight where like he's probably gonna win 14 of the 15 minutes.
Right.
I need better than like the same we're not. Like plus 200 for me is just like it's not, even though I think that's what happens, it's just it's not worth it for
it's
a lot of the ways that
could
go south. Like a lot of the ways that fight goes south. Like I think Mara, hold on a second. I don't know what Mara decision is, but we talked about that one too. Like, and like Mara, see, you're getting plus 300 for Mara decision. That I like, even though I think Mara probably just like destroys her. Plus 300, you're giving me over a big favorite. You get with it. Grappling equity. I like that number.
I'll be your Huckleberry. Ooh, good character drop name here, Justin. Johnny Ringo. Oh, I can see him. I can see him in my head. It's great. I gotta rewatch Tombstone, I think. Good call, Justin. Next fight. Armin, don't call me Sarukian Petrosian, taking on Hidalgo, the black belt hunter Vieta. Minus 210 fight finishes early, plus 163 goes all three. Straight pick 'em as far as the money line goes, and almost a pick 'em for the salary as well. 8,300, 7,900. I'll start this one off. This is one of the few dogs I am picking. Oh God, it's froze up again. Son of a bitch. One of the few dogs I am picking this week is going to be Hidalgo Vieta. I just think, first of all, it's at least in DraftKings, betting aside, Armin Petrosian is abysmal when it comes to DraftKings scoring. He scores like 80 points, literally 80 points every single time he wins. It's just terrible. His ceiling is one of the lowest on the card at not even 82 points. He's consistently bad. So that's what we can bet on here with Petrosian. We can kind of avoid him. Even in cash, I don't really like it. So give me Vieta. I'm willing to take a risk on Vieta. Just beat our guy Cody Brundage in his last fight. Lost to our sworn enemy of the happy hour show, Chris Curtis. God damn you, Chris Curtis.
Friend of the show, Chris Curtis.
Yeah, friend of the show. Chris Curtis for sure. Lost to Anthony Hernandez as well. I think if he gets a takedown, if he can get Petrosian where he wants him, I think this is going to go well for Vieta. And I'm willing to bet as far as DraftKings goes, a little bit as far as GPPs and cash here. Because at cash, you're playing the punt play I'll tell you about later, and Vieta at 7,900. You've just opened up a world of possibilities in the 9K range. So the upside of Vieta, and maybe Lou will talk about it as being another one of his dogs this week that has tremendous round one upside. We'll have to see. But I think Vieta fits that category, fits those parameters for sure. And for that reason, I will be rostering him at 7,900, hoping for a submission victory. Lou, what do you got on this one? Johnny Ringo. Oh, you are muted, Johnny Ringo.
So you want to talk about a fight that's given me problems all week.
Yeah,
just kind of going back and forth because like this is so tough for me. So I'll start with this. I'm lean. I have no bet on this fight, and I don't know what the hell I want to do. I may not bet it. There's a very good chance I just lay off this completely. Gun to my head, I'm picking Petrosian, and I'll say why I'm picking Petrosian. The strength of schedule advantage is way better for Petrosian. There's no doubt about it for me. He's faced guys who are grapplers. He's had good get-ups. Vieira is a different animal, and I get that. The problem here is that Petrosian's striking advantage over Vieira is so vast. It's so vast. Like, and I'm going to give Chris Curtis credit. I'm going to pretend that like he's not my. I'm going to give his fight against Vieira credit. His takedown defense is incredible. The one thing about Chris Curtis, his takedown defense is incredible. But he was the first guy to really go to the body against Vieira. And he just boxes, but he went to the body. Vieira fought through it. Like, his cardio was okay. He fought through it. But he did not like those body shots.
No,
now he's facing somebody that not only can punch to the body, but there's a ton of kicks. He's a K1 guy. There's a ton of kicks. He's going to be targeting the body. Could Vieira catch one and take him down? Yes. But I don't think Vieira getting him down once is the end of the round. I mean, Vieira doesn't really get a lot of immediate finishes. He's kind of like he takes his time. Like, dude, against G-Rod, like he got G-Rod took him down. He got up. Yeah, it was only a couple times, but against Caio Baralho, yeah, that was Baralho is just like backpacked him and it was terrible. Dobson took him down a bunch of times. And then I was on Leroy Duncan against Petrosian. I don't know why. It was a stupid, terrible bet. But Petrosian there was no threat of a takedown there. Like, look, I think we know what his takedown defense is at this point. I don't think it's going to improve. But I think if this fight stays at range, he wins every minute this fight is at range. Every minute.
True.
And I think if this fight, the longer it goes, I favor Petrosian to just continue to peck away, work the body, make Vieira start hunting takedowns from like 4 or 5 feet away, like he was doing against Curtis. Easier to read. I know Petrosian's takedown defense is bad, but when you're telegraphing takedowns and you're tired, they're easy to stop. So
from 10 feet away. Yeah.
I feel like Petrosian can take over later. And man, if you look at like Bet MMA tips, there's more people on the Petrosian side, but it's kind of close. Like it's not like one-way traffic with people picking him. A lot of people that are picking Vieira are picking him by finish. I mean, this is, and the fight doesn't go like, I don't want to just be playing blind overs on this card.
Right.
But like, dude, to start the third is minus 103. Like, I like these overs a lot here. Like, again, I don't think Vieira is round one and that's the end of it. Like, and Petrosian
Petrosian's not going to finish him either.
I think he could. If Vieira is gassed, like totally gassed, I think Petrosian absolutely could knock him out. But he also doesn't strike me as somebody who's going in there trying to throw 20-piece combos. And like, I think he'll know. He'll just, if it's 1-1 going in the third, I don't think he's hunting a knockout.
Right.
And if it's 2-0 Vieira, if it's 2-0 heading in the third, that means it's 2-0 Vieira.
Yeah.
I would think. So, yeah, I like the overs again. I hate overs gang, stand up. But I might have just talked myself when a fight starts round 3. I may have. At minus 103, that's a decent price. But I would lean Arman, and I wouldn't live bet him because I think if Vieira has a lot of success in the first round, who's say can't have success in the second? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Right.
But I don't think Vieira. Last thing. If you're betting Vieira, don't bet his in the distance. It's not much better than his money line. it's like 40, 50 cents better. And I definitely see a path for VR to win a decision here.
Love it.
Just be
There we
careful.
go.
Like if people bet in the round 1 sub, like whatever. But it's not even priced that well, to be honest. Hugo round 1 sub is a far more appealing prop to me than VR.
Yeah, for sure. Got to agree there. Next fight, Caio Bahayo taking on Abus Magomedov. Minus 186. Fight doesn't go. Plus 140 does go. Huge favorite for Bahayo. Minus 285. Plus 225. The return on Magomedov. 9,200 for Bahayo, making him one of the most expensive fighters on the card. 7K for Magomedov. Why don't you start us off here? Do you like Mr. Free Spirit neck tattoo?
Here's finally a fight where I bet a time prop under. So I like the under here quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, again, these lines are weird, man. Like Magomedov goes from like even money or like close to it against Strickland, and now he's like a massive dog. Now I get why it's stylistic. I haven't seen much of Magomedov's takedown defense. I don't know if he has any. I mean, his name's Magomedov. I assume he's got some.
You would assume.
I know Caio has pissed me off in the past not going for like finishes here, but this one may come easier if Magomedov gasses past the first round. I think Caio will force the wrestling, but I think Magomedov has KO potential here too. Like I absolutely do. Like his striking's good. He's piecing up the current champion. Like, yeah, for 3-4 minutes, but still piecing him up.
More than Izzy did.
Look good doing it. I don't think Barallo's striking is great. I just think he's good enough at distance management, and he doesn't shoot bad takedowns. So I think if you're backing Caio, it might be dicey for a little bit. He's another great live bet here. You're going to get him at, look, you're still going to be laying chalk on him after one. I'll tell you that right now. You might get like 170, 180, but still you're cutting it down, and you'll know if Abus looks tired. So, but I really like the under more than anything else here. That's my preferred play.
Yeah, I like Bahayo probably picking him to win, but Abus is the guy I was mentioning as a punt play this week at 7K. His first round finish equity is just gigantic in my opinion. Like Lou said, he hung with the champ for a couple of minutes, and before that finished Dustin Stoltzfus, in like 20 seconds, scoring 128 points there. So he is fully capable of getting it done. Bahayo has not fought I was going to say too many strikers, but that's not true. Oleksiejczuk, Muradov, and Petrosyan back to back. So I guess he has dealt with it. It just depends. Can Magomedov land that shot? I'm willing to bet a little bit in cash games and GPP games that says yes, he can at the 7K price tag. Bahayo, outside of the Oleksiejczuk fight, which he did score 107 points, he's put up 75, 80, and 77 against the two strikers was 80 and 75. So just not really looking forward to playing much of Bahayo, even if he does get a finish. I don't know for a fact that it scores well. Of course, I will be playing some of him in GPPs, but cash games, again, I'd rather pay up $100 for Gabriel Bonfim, or I'd rather save $100 and play Renat Fakhretdinov. So I just don't know how much of Bahayo I'm really going to be able to get to with those two guys as the bread to the Caio Bahayo free spirit sandwich. So yeah, give me Bahayo for the win, but I don't mind Magomedov as a punt play. Let's keep it moving. Rodrigo Nascimento, Yogi Bear, is that his nickname? Taking on Don'Tale Mayes, the guy that ruined our main event next week by ripping John Jones' arm off with the craziest wizard.
Fatality.
Yeah, exactly. With the craziest wizard we've ever seen. Minus 157 fight doesn't go, plus 120, minus 195 from Nascimento money line, plus 160 for Mays. Why is this fight happening again? I really have no idea. Something I need a hard reset my PC after the show. It's my Excel is just not liking me right now.
You have a
luckily
instruments, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. My TI-85 graphics card that I have here. Luckily I've already broken this fight down once a couple of years ago, and I've done 45 shows this week, so I don't really need the Excel. Give me Rodrigo Nascimento for the win, but I'm probably fading this one overall for DraftKings. I think personally, what was the last fight? He subbed him in like the second round. He only scored, I think 94 points. No, that's not right. Oh, here we go. I just rebooted. 99 points. So almost 100-point win or 100-point scoring outing for Nascimento. But at 8,800, we're going to need more than that. And honestly, Mays, you would think, since he just destroyed the greatest heavyweight of all time with a whizzer, that he would be able to take this to a decision, hopefully, in which case neither guy would score very well at all, making my overall fade pay off in a tremendous fashion. So I like Nascimento. I'll pick him. I'll play a little bit of both sides in GPPs, but nothing crazy. I'm not playing this fight in cash at all, 0%. But give me Yogi Bear for the win over Don'Tale Mayes. What do you got for this one?
I mean, sure, Rodrigo should win.
That would be nice. I'm rooting for that, honestly.
I'm not going to break this down. I refuse.
Why is this fight happening again?
I don't know. Maybe they got confused. Maybe they confused Don'Tale Mayes with somebody else. So I'm just gonna. All I'm gonna say is this is the fight I gave away as the Yam Bag special on the project.
Oh yeah. Oh, good. Great call.
And it doesn't check the boxes. Like it doesn't have lefty righty.
No orthodox. Yeah. Right.
But what it does have is Don'Tale Mayes.
That's exactly it.
And that's all I need.
And like, let's not forget that tattoo.
Like Nascimento isn't very good.
Right.
Let's get that out of the way. Is he good enough to beat Mayes and take him down? Yes. Like the corpse of Augusto Sakai, and I bet Mayes in that, and I'm ashamed to admit it. I had a bet on Mayes in that fight. The corpse of Sakai just walked toward him, did very little, and Mayes couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, this is a lot like what was it? Oh, Lewis and Marcos Rogerio de Lima. This is like the Wish version of that fight. It's gonna be fucking trash. Next fight, the second half, co-main event, second half of the Bonfim brothers. Gabriel Bonfim, 15-0, taking on, oh god, I hate when this guy fights, honestly. Is anyone hate? I mean, Nicholas Dalby might be the most unknown hated fighter in the UFC. People that don't even know who he is have to hate this guy. And I don't even know why. Minus 300 fight doesn't go, plus 220 does go, minus 650. So his brother Ishmael, $200 more expensive than him, is now 75 cents higher, maybe $1.25 or cheaper rather, as far as the line goes, plus 450 to come back on Dalby, who is 6,900. Let's see. Why don't you start us off on this one?
So this is the last of my tracked bets, and this one I'm gonna have to really clench my butthole for 5 minutes. I took fight starts round 2. It's minus 135. Still about the same price on a few.
That's not bad. I like that.
Look, Bonfim's gonna win this fight.
Yeah,
and I like Just Win Baby, who I love, dude. I love that guy. Kills me. He's so funny. I know he's not for everybody, but
what's
he's
his
like
name? Is that
Rich? Just Win Baby.
Rich. I always get these people, Dale and Rich, and I always get them all confused.
He's
Dale is punch list.
He cracks. They both crack me up. They're both different funny, and they're both also like devious, like bad people. And I'm here for it
in the best way.
Exactly. Oh, that's a compliment. That's a compliment. And he's the one guy like all week. He's like, don't tell anybody until I like tweet it. I'm like, all right, he tweeted it so I could say it.
But he's on Dalby.
He's all about Dalby here, and he thinks Dalby can get finished. And I'm like, look, I don't know about that. I said, I don't know about that. I said, but I agree that I don't think Bonfim just rolls through him.
Right.
Like, especially early. Like, now,
Dalby's never been finished in the UFC. Or in his career, actually.
This is where people are going to say,
Ronson.
Like, I know, and that's where people are going to say Jesse Ronson, like
steroids. Okay.
I get it. There's also some narratives around that fight, like it was short notice. It was like there's some weird narratives that fight. But anyway, what I like about Dalby, and then I'll tell you what I don't like about him. What I like about him is he makes fights ugly. He gets it against the cage. He's just happy to like control wrists, throw knees, eat up the clock. So for a bet like this, I love it. Obviously, it's got to get to that point for me to be happy with it. The problem I have, and the reason I can't like back Dalby at all, is that the guys he's facing, like in his recent run, Worley Alves,
yep,
is a
Claudio
gasser.
Silva,
Gasser, Salikov, gasser. He lost to Tim Means, and Means has like kind of weirdly good cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So, Juicy think, dude,
Oops, sorry.
put it up. I get it, man. If I have to sweat a 5-minute bet for minus 135, as opposed to betting Bonfim round 1, I mean, Bonfim's in the distance props to me are like, they're kind of weirdly unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's minus 350 in the distance or some shit like that. Like,
No,
against the guy
that's
who's
a good minus 135 is fantastic.
I just like, again, like, I'm trying to hunt value. Like, that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, look, can Dalby survive 5 minutes? The same shit I said about Ismail Bonfim. It's his biggest fight in front of the biggest crowd. Like, he's at home, there's nervous energy. I mean, Dalby could vet less than him for a few minutes and just like survive the first, then like Bonfim could finish him. Like, I mean, dude, I do think Bonfim gets a late finish. I just don't think it's in the first round. So
I love that. I
and
really,
look, if he
really
steamrolls
do.
him, if he steamrolls him, he steamrolls him. I have a unit on it. Like, it's okay.
Right. Yep. And then if he steamrolls Dalby, we're gonna learn a lot more about Bonfim. I will be highly impressed because, like you said, I don't like Nicholas Dalby, but the dude's won 4 of his last 5 against not the greatest opponents, but he's done exactly what he's supposed to do against the guys that they put in front of him. So
he's wrecking bitches.
He really is. I mean, he's not a good DraftKings player. He's up there with no,
how
go
would
ahead.
you cap Dalby against Giles? I'm just curious. How would you hypothetically, who would you make the favorite?
Dalby minus 150.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it sounds fair.
I at least now after his last few fights for sure. That's about where I would put him, somewhere in there, minus 175 tops.
But you know why I'm asking, right?
Because Giles fought Bonfim last.
Because when Bonfim fought Giles, he was minus 350. Now he's like,
you're right.
And he opened at minus 350. I think Couch Warrior got him at minus 350.
Yeah,
I get it. So this is like so I'm saying is this is a disrespectful number. I get it, but it's a disrespectful number considering like where his previous fights have been.
Yep.
And then and I think Dalby, I mean, GCQ says he thinks Giles minus 150. I disagree. I think Dalby would be a small favorite. But however you feel, I feel like that Dalby and Giles are at least it's close.
If
you want to say 150 either way, that's fine. Yep. That plays into my point that this line shouldn't be double what the the Officer Trevor, I don't know.
Officer Giles. Yeah.
I'm just but sure. You got to look at that too. Like,
yep.
I realize there's like the pick winners club, and I would love to just pick winners. Like I do. But like if I see a minus 135 that I think has a pretty good, that I think is going to hit at a decently high clip, I got to take it.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that a lot.
It's going to suck. I mean, the worst 5 minutes,
Yeah, it is. Because he's taken about 1 minute on average, Bonfim, to finish Lazez and Officer Giles there. The last thing I'll say is Dalby, not the best DraftKings score. He's up there with like Armin Petrosian, not a good minute score, does not score well when he does win. In fact, none of his 6 fights he has put up 100 or more points. So yeah, I don't like Dalby at 69. I like Bonfim. I'll play him in cash a lot and GPPs, hoping he gets it done early. But I'm hoping he gets it by early. I mean, second round, third round. I really do think Dalby. I would be surprised if Dalby got finished in the first round, to be honest. I would. And I'm a Dalby hater. And I would be very surprised if he got finished in the first round. So Lou, I might even have to try to jump on that as well. I really do like that. That is a good line that you spotted there. And let's end things, guys. Before we get exactly. Before we get out of here, hit the like one more time on this video. Hit the sub on the MMA Engine. And we've got my guy. I mean, Renat is my guy on this card, but Jailton Almeida, is there anybody more fun to watch than him? Lou, I guess I just love wrestlers, apparently. I like Marab, I like Renat, and I like Jailton Almeida a lot. Taking on the guy on your shirt, Derek Lewis, one of the most quotable fighters in all of the UFC. This line is real, apparently. Minus 2,800. Fight does not go to decision. Plus 1,100. What's up, Higher Destiny? Plus 1,100. Fight does go. Minus 500 for Almeida. plus 365 for Derek Lewis, most expensive fighter on the card and cheapest fighter
I'm not a
on the
Steelers fan,
card
by the way, but that's fine.
as well.
As long as
Steelers.
he didn't say go Eagles, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'll start this one off so you can finish it. Obviously, this is, I hate when people say this, but one of the most binary fights on the card. Let me put my pinky up while I say it. Yeah, it's a football show too. It's either Yelton Almeida extremely early, lands a takedown, gets a sub. Maybe Derek Lewis somehow stands up, says jiu-jitsu isn't real. He pulls that lady on the plane. That motherfucker is not real, pointing at jiu-jitsu, and he just stands up. But Almeida probably can take him down again and again if that's the case. So probably won't be a lot. But one of these guys is probably finishing in the first round. I really don't need to babble about it like I've already been doing. But Lewis can nuke you with one shot. I don't have to tell you that. If he doesn't nuke you, he doesn't do anything. His scoring is abysmal. I call it the Lewis line for the reason. The current Lewis line, which I put, it's like the Mendoza line in baseball, 200 average. It was 2 points a minute. The current Lewis line is 1.95 points per minute. So that's where we're at there. You can all keep track, add it to your databases, etc. So yeah, play both sides. I am clearly on the Almeida side, picking him to win. I'll have much more of him than Lewis in GPPs, in cash, although 9K is extremely packed this week in a good way. So it might be a little bit difficult for me to get to Almeida at 9,600. I don't want to play Vince Pichel a ton. I don't want to play a ton of the dumpster guys at the bottom. So give me Almeida for the pick. It's going to be tough. Get him into as many lineups as you can, but don't get crazy. Don't go sacrificing your entire bottom end just to get Jeldon Almeida in there. Lou, there's a joke that can be made in there somewhere with the bottom end of Derek Lewis and Jeldon Almeida, but I'll let you do it, and you can take us home with the main event breakdown.
Okay, there's no breakdown. Almeida round 1 is the pick.
Love it.
But so here's what I'm going to supplement instead of doing a breakdown, because there's nothing I can really say here about like what Almeida is going to do.
I even spoke too much about it.
This is prison love. It's a prison love.
That's what I was waiting for.
This is my very important thing I need to tell anybody that wants to bet this. You absolutely 100% need to shop around for this line, and I'll tell you why. Almeida round 1 on DraftKings is minus 190. FanDuel is minus 175. On Bet Parks, which is a book that I use, it's minus 117.
117?
It's a big difference.
What the fuck?
And I went on Fight Odds just now and I looked. There's some 140s out there. There's some 130s. DraftKings has it at minus 190. Don't play that. And then to make this even better, if I wanted to go, and I'm playing Almeida round 1, but any fighter to win in round 1 on Bet Parks is minus 143. So even if
on the whole card, you mean?
No, in that fight. So if I just wanted to have I wanted to have like the Lewis Bonklord potential,
right,
then I have it. But like if I go to DraftKings, it's minus 225.
I was gonna say that line's even better than the second best line you had on Almeida round 1.
And it's 225 on BetMGM. So like Bet Parks has a really good price. I think Unibet has so what I'm saying is if you have a lot of books, and you should shop around on this one.
That's wild.
Like I'm playing the minus 117. I can't track it because Bet Parks isn't part of Better MMA Tips, and I don't want to throw in a minus 190. But like totally shop around this one, guys. Like that's it. Yeah.
This is like the tub scene in Training Day all over again. I love it, man. Jeldon Almeida, really looking forward to that.
Jeldon season.
Yeah, all day. SZN, as the kids say. That's gonna do it, Lou. Game Theory is out for me on the MonkMMATics channel. Leave a comment in the comments. That didn't make any sense, but like I said, I'm pretty medicated right now. I chopped up. I don't do the little clips of I think you should leave anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore after like 3 months. I love that shit, but I just can't keep putting the same thing in there. So now what I do, Lou, is I chop up a movie each week, and I just put bits into the video. So this one's an easy one, but you got to comment on what the movie is. You can also check out I don't even know what Pub Sports radio show that was on Wednesday, and check out anything Lou is about to tell you. But we've got a big pay-per-view card next week, huge card next week that I'm really looking forward to. Lou, take us home. Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, I'm supposed to promote that I did the prop show this week, but I literally told you guys all the props I gave out on the show. So like, you don't have to bother, if you're being honest. Tomorrow I'm going to record this. I don't think I'm going to go live, but I'm going to tomorrow morning, like 10, 11 a.m. I will release an NFL picks video on this channel. I'll keep it like 30, 40 minutes, break down the last 13 games of the week, quick picks, why I like them, props, like just, touchdown, whatever. I'll just do it quick and dirty. Hopefully, like if you guys are interested, like I know we didn't do a show this
Hell
week.
yeah.
So I'll bust that out. I'll throw a couple of college picks in there. There's a couple of games I really, really have like serious equity on in the college world. And then next week I have Blood Money. Cody is on the prop show. So excited for that. I wanted to get him on the last week of the year just to see what he was doing for the best bet show that Brady was doing. So I could like prices right him the whole show. Just like I could just $1 him after every bet and just make sure he can't catch me.
Yeah, you could have done that weeks ago. You're up so much in that one. Lou's not going to talk shit publicly, so I'll do it for him.
Well, you can't. Well, I know, but like the format of the show is like if somebody just comes in, they're like, "Fuck it, I'm betting every round 3 submission," and like hits 1 or 2 of them, they could totally leapfrog.
Oh yeah,
like so, you got to worry about like that's why I like every week. I'm not even playing it that safe, dude. I'm doing a yam bags every week. Like I'm trying to Ender's game this shit. Like I'm trying to make people quit the show.
There you go.
I want them to just look at it and be like, I'm done. I can't. I can't catch him.
Exactly.
So I may have a show tomorrow. I may have another show tomorrow too, but I can't talk about it.
No. Well, check Lou on Twitter at Lou Betya to be informed on that one. And I am not doing anything tomorrow. Love Fridays. Just doing a little writing for the website, and that is about it. And on that note, Lou, thank you so much, chat, for sticking around with us. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, long shot Lou for sure. Hey, the long shots pay better. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? So on that note, guys, me and Lou want you all to enjoy the fight. So enjoy, and we will see you in the next one.